At the beginning, we see female lead Fang Yan. She is going to a studio to give her voice audition. She is a very talented voice artist. When Fang Yan gives her audition in front of the judges, all the judges are impressed. One judge says, "Your dubbing skills and voice are amazing." The judges give her another clip for dubbing, and Fang Yan agrees. In the next scene, we see main character, Mung, who is a famous producer. All the movies and projects produced by Mung earn up to 3 billion at the box office. Mung is also the producer of the movie for which Fang Yan is auditioning. When Mung hears Fang Yan's voice selected by the judges, he also likes it. He sets out for his studio to watch the live audition. On the other side, a jealous senior changes Fang Yan's audition clip and plays a horror clip instead. This triggers Fang Yan to recall a traumatic childhood incident in a flashback. After the flashback, she enters a sleepwalking state and cannot understand what is happening around her. At that moment, Mung sees her and observes her very closely for the first time. When Fang Yan consults a doctor, she learns that her sleepwalking problem can only be resolved if she stays with someone who can make her feel secure. Fang Yan starts pondering over this matter. Later, at a press conference, Mung meets his brother Yi, who is a famous singer. Mung and Yi have family issues, so they do not like each other. After the conference, Mung strategizes with his assistant and begins searching for an actor for his new project. One day, when Fang Yan is about to fall while in her sleepwalking state, Mung saves her and, upon observing her closely, recognizes that she is the same girl he had seen outside his studio earlier. After this interaction, both feel a strange connection in their hearts. Fang Yan has a hidden identity. She is an online poet with the username Anjiang. Both Mung and Yi unknowingly become fans of her poems. Mung feels attracted to Fang Yan's sweet voice and poems and meets her one day outside a coffee shop. While Mung is getting drenched in the rain, Fang Yan comes from behind and says, "If your house is far away, you can come to our shop and wait for the rain to stop." Mung agrees and enters the shop, where he starts looking at all the music albums in the shop while Fang Yan is cleaning. Mung secretly watches Fang Yan as he is naturally becoming attracted to her. Later, when Fang Yan is trying to take down a music album and is about to fall, Mung catches her from behind. This brings them very close to each other. Fang Yan looks at Mung in surprise. Ming steps back and says, "Please suggest an album to me." Fang Yan happily says, "Why not?" and suggests Yi's music album to Ming. Since Fang Yan is a big fan of Yi, she starts praising him. Hearing this, Mung does not like it at all and asks her, "Show me another album." Ming asks Fang Yan, "What's your favorite song?" Fang Yan picks out Destiny Song and says, "I strongly believe in destiny." Mung responds, "This is all nonsense. I don't trust destiny at all." Then they argue about destiny. Fang Yan challenges him, "If a couple passes by here when I count to 10, you will have to believe in destiny." Mung agrees, but unfortunately, no couple passes by until she counts to 9. Fang Yan becomes sad. Mung places his hand in front of her eyes, and when a couple passes by, he says, 10. Fang Yan becomes happy and says, "Neither did you win, nor did I lose. I'm gifting this album to you." When Fang Yan goes to get some paper to pack the album, Mung secretly makes the payment. Then he notices a book in which Fang Yan's friend has written, "How to Sleep with Yi." Seeing this, Mung becomes angry and leaves before Fang Yan returns. When Fang Yan comes back with the paper, she is unable to understand why Mung left so suddenly. Later, Mung goes to his brother Yi and says, "I've heard you're having trouble composing a song, so I've brought this album for you." Yi listens to the album and feels happy. At that moment, Mung plays one of Fang Yan's poems, which she had posted using her Anjiang ID on his phone for Yi. Yi angrily says, "Stay out of my personal life." Mung replies, "If you work in my movie, I'll introduce you to that girl." Yi refuses, but Mung says, "Then you'll need my permission to collaborate with her because she's going to work for our company as a voice artist." Yi remains silent. As Mung starts leaving, Yi reminds him, "Tomorrow is Mom's birthday, so don't cause any drama." Mung leaves without saying anything. On the other side, Fang Yan is cleaning her store when she notices Mung's duck, which had fallen from his keyring. She picks it up and keeps it in her pocket so she can return it to him. At that moment, Fang Yan's friend comes running to her and says, "Did you know there's news going viral on the internet? Ming's brother Yi is playing the male lead in his movie. And since you've been selected as a voice artist for Ming's company, if you work with Yi, you might also overcome your sleepwalking problem." Hearing this, Fang Yan becomes happy. Then Fang Yan's friend says, "I've arranged a meeting for you with the executive producer through my friend. If you pass this, no one can stop you from meeting Yi and working with him." Hearing this, Fang Yan becomes even more excited because she is a huge fan of Yi. Meanwhile, Mung gets out of his car and notices that the duck on his keyring is missing. This makes him very upset because the duck was a gift from their father to him and Yi, with the instruction to always keep it with them. Since it is lost, Mung becomes very worried. The next day, Fang Yan arrived with her friend at Mung's company for her final audition. However, since Fang Yan is extremely nervous before the meeting, she asks her friend to wait outside and goes to the washroom. Meanwhile, Fang Yan's friend Zhu Yao sits down somewhere and waits for Fang Yan to return. At that moment, Yao hears a familiar voice. When she turns around, she sees her ex-boyfriend Hao Ying, who is Mung's assistant and also an executive producer, who will take Fang Yan's audition today. Yao silently listens to his conversation. He is telling his friends, "There was a girl who loved me madly, but I left her because I didn't like her at all." Hearing this, Yao becomes very angry and confronts Hao Ying. Seeing her, Hao Ying is shocked and tries to leave quietly, but Yao doesn't let him go. Then she says, "It's been a long time since we last met. Remember the last time we met, you were crying a lot because of our breakup?" Hearing this, Hao Ying feels very embarrassed. He asks her, "Can we talk somewhere private?" But Yao says, "I remember everything. You were so crazy about me, but look at you now, you're perfectly fine." Saying this, she leaves. In the next scene, Fang Yan and Yao meet the director in the meeting room. The director says to Fang Yan, "You will have to give a final audition." Fang Yan is practicing for the audition when Hao Ying enters. Seeing Yao there, he says, "I refuse to take the audition." At that moment, Mung arrives. Hao Ying tells him, "Boss, I have other work, so I can't take this audition." Hearing this, Mung sees Fang Yan. He says, "It's fine. I'll take this girl's audition myself." During the audition, Mung asks Fang Yan, "Why do you want this role?" Fang Yan replies, "I really like this role, and I assure you that my performance won't disappoint you." Mung behaves quite rudely and says, "I don't want to hire you for my company." Hearing this, Fang Yan also gets angry and says, "Who do you think you are? I don't want to work with you." Then she adds, "I was going to return this to you, but now it's mine," referring to his duck keychain. Fang Yan leaves angrily. Mung doesn't say anything, feeling extremely embarrassed. Later, Mung visits Fang Yan's house with Hao Ying and tells her, "You will have to sign a contract if you want to work with Yi." Fang Yan is still angry at Mung, so she gives both of them some dares to complete, which Hao Ying fulfills. Finally, it's Mung's turn. Meng gets very close to Fang Yan during his dare, as he is challenged to give a French kiss. Seeing him so close, Fang Yan is shocked, but instead of kissing, Meng takes a lollipop from her mouth and says, "Why don't we sign the contract now?" Hearing this, Fang Yan makes a face. Afterward, Fang Yan and Yao are coming out of a room after discussing something. Hao Ying asks them, "Will you sign the contract now?" But Fang Yan says, "I have one condition. I want to meet Yi today." Hearing this, Mung feels bad but agrees to her condition. On the other side, we see that it's Mung's mother's birthday today. When Mung's mom hears about the marriages of her friends' children, she becomes a little sad because she also wants her two sons, Mung and Yi, to get married, but neither of them is ready to even date someone. Then Mung, Hao Ying, and Fang Yan go to meet Yi. When Fang Yan hears that it's Mung's mother's birthday, she says, "I can't go inside. I don't have a gift." However, Mung forcefully takes her inside. There, Mung's mom meets Fang Yan, and Mung gives her a gift, which Fang Yan gives to Mung's mom. Upon opening the gift, Mung's mom becomes very happy. Later, Mung tells Fang Yan, "Yi is upstairs in his room. You can go meet him." Fang Yan feels very nervous about meeting Yi. Upstairs, Yi is listening to Anjiang's poems. When Fang Yan recites a tree poem, Yi says to himself, "Fang Yan is Anjiang." To confirm this, Yi messages Anjiang's account. When Fang Yan's phone rings, Yi says, "It's certain now, Fang Yan is Anjiang." Yi and Fang Yan talk, where Fang Yan tells him, "I have a sleepwalking problem, and I want to spend time with you to solve it." But Yi misunderstands her and says, "If you want an autograph, just let me know." Saying this, he leaves. Fang Yan becomes very sad and walks away. Meng, who is coming downstairs, sees them together. When Mung asks her, "Shall we sign the contract now?" Fang Yan makes a face and leaves. Mung laughs and follows her. Seeing them leave, Mung's mom tells Hao Ying, "Try to build a connection between the two." Later, Fang Yan coming home upset, and her friend Yao asks, "Did you meet Yi?" Fang Yan says, "Yes, but he thought I was just a crazy fan." Hearing this, Yao says, "Don't worry, I'll fix everything." The next day, Yao meets Hao Ying and says, "Fang Yan will only sign the contract if you fulfill my condition." Hao Ying asks, "What's the condition?" Yao replies, "I want to bring Fang Yan and Yi closer because Fang Yan likes Yi." Hearing this, Hao Ying is shocked and wonders what will happen to Mung. Then he thinks, Since Mung's mom wants Mung and Fangyan to get closer, I should use Yi to bring them together. Hao Ying tells Yao, Mung's mom is looking for a caretaker for Mung to take care of him. If you want, I can get Fangyan this job. Yao agrees. Miss Ling then meets Fangyan and interviews her for the job. Miss Ling is impressed and says, the job is yours. Hao Ying gets Fangyan to sign a contract. Without reading it, Fangyan signs thinking, I'm becoming Yi's assistant. However, according to the contract, she becomes Mung's assistant. When Fangyan arrives at Mung's apartment, she says to herself, this must be Yi's apartment. But when Mung shows up, both of them exclaim, what are you doing here? Mung video calls his mom and asks, why did you send Fangyan here? His mom replies, Fangyan is your caretaker. Fangyan discusses the problem with Yao. Yao reads the contract and says, if you quit the job, you'll have to pay 1 million. Yao adds, it's just for 2 months. You'll have to do this job. Mung creates rules for Fangyan and says, you must follow these rules. Fangyan agrees. Later, an actress from Mung's movie meeting him. The actress says, I like you, but Mung isn't interested. Fangyan sees them together and misunderstands. Mung pretends to get close to Fangyan in front of the actress, making her angry and leave. Then Mung pushes Fangyan out of the elevator and she says, how could you do this to me? Yi meets Fangyan and says, let's talk about your sleepwalking disorder. After talking to the doctor, Yi says, now I understand your condition. Yi apologizes to her and says, tell me your wishes and I'll fulfill them. Hearing this, Fangyan becomes very happy. She says, my first wish is that you give me your autograph. Yi replies, just an autograph? Fangyan says, yes. Yi signs the autograph and gives it to Fangyan. Seeing this, Fangyan becomes very happy and says, thank you, sir. Upon hearing this, Yi says, now that we are working together, you should talk to me normally. Fangyan becomes even happier upon hearing this and starts to leave. However, Yi stops her and makes her wear his coat, saying, it's very cold outside. You should take care of your voice. Fangyan then says, thank you, sir, and leaves. After returning home, she starts celebrating with her friends, saying, I have finally become Yi's friend, and Yi will help me with my sleepwalking disorder. Then she remembers that she also has to make food for Mung. She starts to leave, but before going, she asks her friend to act as if she has won the Voice Actress Award. Fangyan begins acting like a heroine, and just then, Mung arrives and sees Fangyan's act. When Mung places his hand on her shoulder, Fangyan, startled, blows a party blower directly in his face. In response, Mung glares at her angrily and says, I told you not to make noise in my house. Then Mung imposes a fine of $5,000 on Fangyan for breaking the rule and says, if you don't pay the fine in a day, I'll double it. Fangyan goes to the washroom and says, the sound won't get out of here, and starts live streaming after setting up her mobile. A little while later, Mung comes to the washroom and asks, what are you doing here? Fangyan replies, nothing. Mung shouts at her to leave and Fangyan quickly runs out. But her live streaming is still on and everyone sees Mung scolding her. When Fangyan remembers that she left her mobile inside and that the live stream is still on, she becomes very scared. She thinks, if I tells Mung about it, he will get even angrier and increase my fine. Fangyan closes her eyes and sneaks inside to get her mobile. Just as she is about to pick it up, a shampoo bottle falls, and Mung sees her. Mung quickly covers himself and yells at her, what are you doing here? Fangyan replies, I just came to get my mobile because my live streaming is on. Mung tells her to leave quickly. Fangyan, with her eyes closed, stumbles out of the room. The next day, Mung tells Hao Ying to suspend Fangyan's account and says, the video from yesterday must be deleted, and remove Fangyan from my house. Hao Ying tries to explain, I cannot do that, or Madam Ling will punish me. Mung stays quiet, but Hao Ying suggests, you should scare Fangyan, so she leaves on her own. Mung finds Hao Ying's idea good and decides to follow it that night. While Fangyan is talking to Yao, she starts hearing strange noises. When she goes outside to check, all the lights turn off, which scares Fangyan even more. She knocks on Mung's door and asks, Ming, are you here? There is no response because Mung is calmly watching all of this. When Fangyan hears the ringtone of Mung's phone, she goes to check and finds Mung's phone next to a creepy doll. Seeing this, Fangyan is deeply shocked and immediately goes into her sleepwalking condition. Mung feels awkward seeing this. When he turns on the lights and goes towards her, Fangyan slips and falls into his lap, losing consciousness. Mung is at a loss but becomes very scared and quickly places her on the sofa while calling the hospital. He explains the situation to the doctor, saying, there is a girl here and she might have fainted. I'm worried she may have died. The doctor tells Mung to relax. Then the doctor advises Mung to loosen her clothes so she can breathe properly. Mung follows the advice. When he is about to cut Fangyan's clothes, He stops and instead covers her with Yi's coat before carefully cutting the clothes. The doctor tells him to perform CPR. Just as Mung is about to give her CPR, Fangyan's eyes open. Seeing this, Mung is shocked and steps back immediately. When Fangyan gets up, Mung quickly grabs the coat. When Fangyan sees her clothes being cut, she screams and grabs the coat herself. Then she glares at Mung angrily. Meanwhile, the doctor calls and asks, "Is the patient okay?" Why is no one answering? Fangyan picks up the phone and says, "Yes, doctor. Everything is fine now." After hanging up, she stares at Mung again. Mung is still in shock from what happened. In the next scene, Fangyan thinks, "How did I come to my senses?" Then she remembers when she regained consciousness, she was holding Yi's coat. She recalls, the doctor said a person can feel secure with the scent or items of someone close to them. Fangyan happily starts looking for Yi's coat, but then remembers, I put it in the washing machine. So she becomes sad again. In the next scene, Fangyan tells her friend Yao everything. Yao says, if all this happened because of Mung, tell him to make up for his mistake by giving you something personal of Yi's. Fangyan agrees to this idea. During dinner, Mung asks Fangyan, what exactly happened last night? Fangyan tells him everything about her sleepwalking disorder. After hearing this, Mung realizes his mistake and apologizes to Fangyan, even waiving her $5,000 fine. Fangyan happily asks, can I ask for something else? Mung replies, yes, of course. Fangyan says, I want something personal of your brother Yi, something related to his clothes that has his body scent. Upon hearing this, Mung becomes irritated and refuses, saying, I will never give it to you. Fangyan grumbles and starts eating. In the next scene, Fangyan arrives at Yi's house with her doctor. She tells Yi, I went into sleepwalking again last night, but when I regained consciousness, I was holding your coat. The doctor says, we think Yi's coat had his body scent, which made Fangyan feel secure, and that's why she came to her senses. Fangyan says, but I mistakenly washed your coat. Can you give me something else personal that you've used? Yi says, okay, follow me. He opens his big cupboard and says, you can take whatever you want from here. Fangyan is shocked because everything in the cupboard is very expensive. Yi offers her his favorite t-shirt, but Fangyan says, isn't there something cheaper? I don't want this. Yi replies, you can take anything you want, but there's nothing cheap. After Fangyan insists, Yi takes her to another place and gives her his old harmonica. He says, this is my first musical instrument. Fangyan refuses to take it and says, I can't take this because it's connected to your emotions. But Yi insists, and Fangyan finally accepts the harmonica, saying, okay, consider this my second wish. Yi laughs because he has started liking Fangyan and her innocent requests. Fangyan happily smiles while looking at a harmonica when she suddenly receives a voice message from her director. Upon listening, the director praises Fangyan's voice and says, your voice is good, but you need to make it sound a bit more innocent to fit your character. Hearing this, Fangyan agrees and asks, but how can I make my voice more innocent? Her friend Lin says, just leave it to me. I'll handle everything. In the next scene, Mung is passing by Fangyan's room when he hears her voice talking to someone. Fangyan says, you're so adorable, that's why I'll always keep you with me. Hearing this, Mung becomes angry and shouts, Fangyan, who's with you? Come out now! Fangyan quickly comes out and says, who? There's no one! Mung retorts, I know you're hiding someone! When Mung forcefully opens the door to Fangyan's room, a duck runs out, leaving him shocked. Mung and Fangyan chase the duck. After much effort, they manage to catch it. Mung angrily asks Fangyan, what is all this? Fangyan explains, a director gave me the role of a duck, so Lin brought me this duck to help me understand the character. Mung responds sarcastically, wow, your friends have some brilliant ideas. He then picks up the duck and starts taking it outside. When Fangyan protests, Mung throws both her and the duck out of the house. Sitting outside, Fangyan calls Mung, saying, please let me in. I'm scared to be alone outside. Just then, the lights go out and Fangyan becomes even more frightened. When Mung realizes that the outside lights have gone out, he becomes concerned. Fangyan's fear of the dark might cause her to sleepwalk again. He opens the gate and tells Fangyan and the duck, come inside. Overjoyed, Fangyan enters the house. To thank Mung, she cuts an apple into the shape of a duck and offers it to him. Mung says, no need to be so happy. I've only allowed the duck to stay for tonight. By morning, I don't want to see it here. As he's about to close his door, Fangyan begins praising him excessively and hands him his childhood toy duck, saying, you're so kind. Think for yourself. Where will this duck go if I drive it away? Touched by her words, Mung accepts his childhood duck and lets the real duck stay in the house. Fangyan becomes very happy and thanks Mung sincerely. At that moment, Mung notices a harmonica in Fangyan's hand and asks her, "Where did you get this?" Feng Yan excitedly tells him, "Yi gave it to me," before happily walking away. Hearing Yi's name, Mung becomes angry. In the next scene, Mung opens a locked room filled with his childhood belongings. He places his childhood duck on a wooden rack and recalls how his father had made the rack with his own hands. Sitting in the room, Mung starts missing his father deeply. Suddenly, he hears Feng Yan yelling at her duck, "Come down from the shower!" Seeing this, Mung becomes furious again and says, "You two are at it again. Get that duck down from my shower immediately, or I'll fine you double." A scared Feng Yan hurriedly tries to coax the duck down, but it refuses. Afraid of Mung's anger, Feng Yan climbs on something to reach the duck. While trying to bring it down, Feng Yan almost falls, but Mung catches her from behind, preventing her from falling. He says, "Move aside, I'll have to do this myself." As Mung tries to get the duck down, the duck jumps away, causing Mung to accidentally kiss Feng Yan. Both are shocked. Feng Yan quickly runs to her room, feeling extremely embarrassed. She says, "That was my first kiss and I feel so weird." Mung is equally shocked because it was his first kiss too. He starts recalling all his memories with Feng Yan. Thinking about it, Mung wonders, "Am I starting to like Feng Yan?" But then he remembers how Feng Yan always praised Yi and dismisses his feelings, saying, "No, it was just an accident," and leaves. The next day, Feng Yan finds that her duck has dirtied Yi's harmonica. She becomes very worried, saying, "If Yi finds out, he'll be upset with me." Just then, Mung laughs from behind and says, "Wow, this duck has outdone itself today." Suspicious, Feng Yan asks, "Did you do this?" Mung replies, "I have no interest in such things." Feng Yan looks at the harmonica and feels regretful, saying, "Yi gave this to me with so much love, and it holds so many memories." Hearing Yi's name again, Mung leaves angrily. At his office, Hao Ying nervously informs Mung, "Mr. Luo is back and waiting for you in the meeting room." Surprised, Mung learns from the director that Mr. Luo has made significant changes to the movie project. Mung assures him, "Don't worry, I'll talk to Mr. Luo myself." In the meeting room, Mung discusses the changes with Mr. Luo. Although the conversation is tense, Mung tries to explain his perspective. Meanwhile, Feng Yan wonders how she'll ask Yi for another personal item, since her duck ruined the harmonica he gave her. Yi overhears her talking to herself and starts laughing. He asks, "Do you want to say something?" Feng Yan denies it and starts drinking coffee. Later, as Feng Yan is heading home, Yi takes off his muffler and puts it on her, saying, "It's okay if your duck ruined my harmonica." Feng Yan becomes very happy and thanks him, saying, "I won't let this muffler get ruined." Yi laughs at her words. In the next scene, Mung goes to the director's office but finds it empty. He calls Hao Ying to inquire about the director, but even Hao Ying doesn't know where he is. Feng Yan is talking to Yi when her friend Lin calls and informs her that the director of the movie has left the company and run away. Hearing this, Feng Yan is shocked. In the next scene, Mung searches for the director at all the places he used to visit but doesn't find him anywhere. Ming returns home tired, and Feng Yan, seeing him upset, decides to help him. Feng Yan discovers the director is playing an online game. She communicates with him in the game and persuades him to reveal his location. The director shares his location as the railway station. Then Mung and Feng Yan head there. On the way, Feng Yan twists her ankle, and Mung carries her on his back. Feng Yan gives Mung the scarf Yi had given her so he can stay warm. At the railway station, Feng Yan and Mung search for the director and finally find him. Feng Yan tells the director, "We found you through the online game." The director gets annoyed, but later, Mung convinces him not to abandon the movie project. In the next scene, Mung and the director drink together. Mung explains to the director, "I will talk to Uncle Lu to resolve the problem." The director is pleased and agrees to work on the project. When Feng Yan overhears Mung and the director's conversation, she thinks to herself, "This arrogant monster isn't as bad as I thought at first. In fact, he's a good person who brings everyone together." The three of them then walk down the road. Mung and the director have had too much to drink. Feng Yan sneezes from the cold. Mung pulls her close and wraps her up warmly with his muffler. Feng Yan is surprised when Mung looks at her with affection and smiles. She feels strange about him for the first time. After returning home, Mung and the director continue drinking. When Feng Yan brings them honey water, the director jokingly asks, "Why haven't you gone home yet? Does this mean you two live together?" Feng Yan is about to deny it, but Mung responds, "Yes, we live together." Hearing this, the director laughs and says, "Oh, so you've been hiding a woman in your house?" and then falls asleep on the sofa. Mung also falls asleep there. Feng Yan covers the director with a blanket and tries to take Mung to his room, but he falls asleep in her lap. Feng Yan tries to move him, but he doesn't budge. As she looks at Mung, Fangyan remembers the moments when Mung used to be angry with her and their happy moments. Remembering this, she smiles. Meanwhile, Yi uploads a picture of Fangyan's muffler on social media. When the notification pops up on Mung's phone, he realizes it's the same muffler that Yi gave to Fangyan. This makes Mung angry at Yi again. The next day, Mung takes Fangyan's duck for a morning walk. The director sees this and laughs, knowing Mung is doing it because Fangyan asked him to. Fangyan is cleaning the house and notices the door to Mung's secret room is open. She goes inside and finds old items stored there. While cleaning, Fangyan accidentally bumps into the cleaning machine, causing the wooden shelf made by Ming's father to fall. She thinks, "This looks so old and damaged. Why don't I replace it with a new one? Maybe Mung will be happy." Later, when Mung comes home, he asks Fangyan, "Where's the director?" Fangyan replies, "I made food for him." Mung responds, "I told him you cook badly, so he went home." Fangyan gets upset, but still sits down to have lunch with Mung. During their conversation, Fangyan mentions, "I plan to take my duck to meet Yi." Hearing this, Mung refuses. "Our duck won't meet Yi." When Fangyan asks why, Mung says, "Because it has a fever and needs rest." This makes Fangyan angry, but she calms herself with a laugh. Ming later notices that the door to his secret room is open. When he goes inside, he sees his father's wooden shelf is missing. He yells at Fangyan, "Just tell me where the shelf is." Fangyan gets scared and says, "It was old and about to break." Hearing this, Mung gets even angrier. He goes to the dumpster, finds the shelf, and calls the management number on it to get it restored. Just then, his mom calls, and he rushes to his father's funeral. However, Mung starts arguing with Yi at the funeral, claiming, "My father is still alive." His mom tries to explain, "Your father is no more," but Mung doesn't listen and starts fighting with Yi. Meanwhile, Fangyan arrives at the company and asks Yi, "Am I late?" Yi replies, "No, because the movie's main lead, Ling, hasn't arrived yet." Just then, the senior who met Fangyan earlier is shown making plans with an assistant. While Fangyan is in the washroom, the assistant pretends to have stomach pain and sends Fangyan to fetch her purse. Fangyan goes there and gets scared seeing a skeleton. Suddenly, the lights go out, and the senior appears to scare Fangyan badly, causing her to sleepwalk. Yi tries to wake her up, but fails. At that moment, Mung arrives and takes Fangyan to the office. Fangyan calls Yi, which angers Mung, but Yi explains, "I'm the only one who can help." Yi hugs Fangyan and kisses her forehead, which makes Mung jealous, and he leaves. Later, Yi tells Mung, "We should avoid fighting in front of your mom," and Mung agrees. Yi takes Fangyan to his room, where they sing and enjoy themselves. Meanwhile, Mung sits sadly and drinks. Yi sings a sad song, and Fangyan asks, "Is there a story behind this song?" Yi reveals, "It's about two brothers who loved each other deeply. One day, the elder brother went out and got lost. Their father also left to search for him and never returned. The elder brother blamed the younger brother for leaving him alone, while the younger brother blamed himself for their father's disappearance." Fangyan realizes Yi is talking about himself and Mung. Yi asks her, "Why do you live with Mung?" She says, "It's a long story. I will leave soon." Yi saves his number in her phone, saying, "Call me when you leave, I'll come to get you." When Fangyan returns home, she finds Mung drunk. She helps him to his bed. Mung asks her, "Sing a song for me." When she refuses, Mung starts singing himself and kisses her forehead. The next morning, Fangyan acts rudely toward Mung and sings the same song. Meng remembers everything and feels embarrassed. He notices the shelf Fangyan brought back and apologizes, "I'm sorry for my rude behavior yesterday." Later, Lin calls Fangyan and invites her to a party with an advertising company. She agrees. At the party, Lin goes to the restroom, where the lead actress of the movie receives a gift from the advertiser. Following the actor assistant's instructions, she makes Fangyan drop the gift into the water. Then she starts yelling at Fangyan. Fangyan knew this movie was important to Mung, so she personally retrieves the gift from the water. Just then, Mung arrives and throws the gift far away, picking up Fangyan and taking her away. The advertiser tells Mung, "I will terminate the contract with you because of your behavior." Mung replies, "That's why I came here. I don't want any advertisements in my movie." Then he takes Fangyan to the hospital, where the doctor says Fangyan is completely fine. However, Mung says, "No, she has a scratch on her hand. Bandage it up." Later, Fangyan goes to Yi's place to deliver something. Yi, who had figured out what happened the previous night, brings soup for her. Meanwhile, at home, Mung asks his mom for a recipe and prepares soup. When Yi drops Fangyan off at her home, Mung sees them. After coming home, Fangyan asks Mung, "Wow, you also made this?" Mung says, "Throw this soup away if you've already had some." Fangyan replies, "No, I had just a little," and then drinks the soup, saying, "This tastes really good." Mung then asks, "Do do you have a boyfriend? Hearing this, Fangyan spits out the soup. Mung adds, stay away from Yi. He changes girlfriends every month. Fangyan replies, so Yi has love experience. He can help me practice for my love scenes. Hearing this, Mung gets up and leaves. Later, when Fangyan is washing her hair, Mung arrives and helps her dry her hair. Then Mung says to Fangyan, if you want, I can help you practice. You don't need to go to Yi. Hearing this, Fangyan replies, how will you help? You're a producer, not an actor. Mung says, I'm not behind my brother Yi in anything. I know everything well. In my movie Water Utopia, you've been given the role of an innocent character. Your heart should be full of love. Only then can you play the role well. But your heart and mind are only filled with food. Hearing this, Fangyan angrily gets up and starts practicing love confession dialogues. When Fangyan comes close to Mung while practicing her dialogues, she hesitates at the last line. Mung comes closer to Fangyan and asks, do you like me? Fangyan replies seriously, yes. Mung is shocked, but Fangyan starts laughing and says, that was the dialogue line. Both laugh. After practicing, when Fangyan says her dialogues in front of the director, he praises her. Hearing this, Lin jokingly asks Fangyan, are you and Ming secretly in love with each other? Fangyan replies, stop talking nonsense, it's nothing like that. In the next scene, to confirm whether Mung likes her or not, Fangyan asks Mung, will you come to watch a movie with me? But Mung refuses because he is busy with work. This breaks Fangyan's heart, and she throws the tickets in the trash. In the evening, while Fangyan is cleaning her shop, Mung sends her a message. I'm free from 4 to 6. I can come to watch a movie. Seeing this, Fangyan becomes very happy. At the cinema hall, Fangyan buys tickets for a new movie, The Sunshine, thinking it's a fantasy movie. However, when she starts watching it, she realizes it's a horror movie. Scared by the horror scenes, Fangyan starts to leave the hall. Meanwhile, Yao sees Fangyan's message and is shocked because The Sunshine is a horror movie. Yao quickly calls Yi and tells him everything. Yi rushes to the cinema hall. After his meeting, Mung also sees the tickets and is shocked. He wonders, how is this scaredy cat watching a horror movie? He too quickly heads to the cinema hall. Outside the cinema hall, Yi finds Fangyan and hugs her tightly, asking, are you okay? Fangyan replies, yes, I'm perfectly fine. Just then, Mung sees them from a distance and feels terrible. Yi tells her, I came here because Yao told me you accidentally chose to watch a horror movie. I was worried you'd start sleepwalking after watching it, so I came for you. Fangyan explains, yes, I accidentally went to a horror movie, but I closed my eyes during the scary scenes. That's why I didn't start sleepwalking. Hearing this, Yi feels relieved. Mung, who overhears this from a distance, leaves feeling very sad. He then says to Fangyan, come, I'll drop you home, and Fangyan agrees. He drops Fangyan off at her home in his car. Before leaving, Fangyan asks Yi a serious question. If we really like someone, but that person doesn't like us back, what should we do in that situation? Yi replies, then you should leave that person and choose someone who truly likes you. Hearing this, Fangyan becomes thoughtful and bids goodbye to Yi. As Yi drives away, he calls after her, next time you want to watch a movie, let me know. We'll go together. Hearing this, Fangyan smiles and leaves happily. When she enters her home, Mung is eating dinner. Fangyan asks, you're back? Mung replies, yes, but sorry I couldn't come to the movie, so I ordered food from outside. Fangyan responds, it's okay, you were probably busy with your meeting. Then Fangyan starts telling him, the movie I watched today was really good because it showed a wife who loved her husband very much. Mung asks, what do you think? Did her husband deserve her love? Fangyan replies, yes, but I don't know what your opinions are about love. Mung says, first of all, I don't have time to think about love. It's all nonsense and a waste of time. That's why I only focus on making my movies. Hearing this, Fangyan goes quiet and then says, by the way, 2 months are about to be completed, so I want to discuss something with you. Mung assumes that Fangyan wants to leave, so he says, okay, I'll find another house for you. Then he gets up and leaves. The next day, Fangyan calls Yao to meet her. When Yao arrives and asks why she was called, Fangyan tells her it's about Mung. She says, I know who you want to date, but you can't date him because he's your future, the one who can save you from your illness. How will he feel if he sees you with someone else? Hearing this, Fangyan becomes upset and runs away, saying to herself, yes, that person is Yi. He makes me feel secure because he's my reality and my last hope to escape my illness. That's why I must forget Mung and stop thinking about him. Anyway, he doesn't like me. When Fangyan returns home, Mung, who has been waiting for her, gets up and leaves without saying anything. This makes Fangyan sad again. She says, I have only 2 days left in this house. I shouldn't spend them being sad. The next morning, Mung comes out of his room and sees delicious food on the table with a note that says, have a nice day. This makes Mung happy. Meanwhile, Yao brings a camping equipment box for her son Chen, but he isn't pleased. He says, at the camping trip, all the kids' dads will be there except mine. He insists, take Uncle Hao Ying with us. But when Yao refuses, Chen gets angry and storms off, leaving Yao distressed. At home, Fangyan tells Mung, tomorrow is my last day in this house. I want to spend the whole day with you. After thinking for a moment, Mung agrees and says, all right. The next day, Fangyan takes Mung to a park and tells him, I used to come here with my parents but never got to skate. I want to skate with you. Mung helps Fangyan wear skating shoes and teaches her how to skate. Fangyan keeps falling, which makes Mung laugh, but she gradually learns. In the evening, Fangyan serves Mung soup she made herself, which he enjoys. Later, she tells Mung, there's another special place I want to visit. As they leave, Fangyan suddenly kisses Mung on the cheek and says, my mom told me to. Mung laughs and they head to the special place. Meanwhile, Hao Ying brings Chen back home. Yao thanks Hao Ying for helping but tells him, don't come back again because I don't want Chen to have any false hopes. Hearing this, Hao Ying becomes sad and says, but Yao, I want to stay with you and Chen to give him a good future. Why are you pushing me away? Yao replies, because I still love Chen's dad and am waiting for his return. I'm certain he'll come back one day. This breaks Hao Ying's heart and he says, goodbye, before leaving. Fangyan takes Mung to a spot where she looks up at the sky and says, why aren't there any stars tonight? If they were here, their reflection in the lake would look so beautiful. Mung laughs at this. Fangyan then shares, my father proposed to my mother at this very spot, making it very special because wishes made here always come true. She stands there and loudly says, I wish for myself, which makes Mung smile. As they head back home, Fangyan calls out, Mung, happy birthday! When Mung turns around, fireworks light up the sky. Mung is surprised and stares lovingly at Fangyan before saying, thank you for giving me the most beautiful birthday surprise ever. On their way back, Fangyan stops. When Mung asks, what's wrong? Fangyan explains, today marks 2 full months since I've been in your house. I don't want to bother you anymore, so I sent all my belongings to Yao's house. Hearing this, Mung is shocked. Fangyan bids him goodbye and leaves. When Mung returns home, the house feels empty because he has grown used to Fangyan's presence. Even while sleeping, he wakes up suddenly, feeling as though Fangyan is calling him. Similarly, Fangyan misses Ming and starts counting passing people to distract herself. One day, Yi visits Fangyan's shop for the first time. He asks, why are you counting people? Are you feeling sad? Fangyan is shocked and asks, how are you here? Yi replies, you didn't reply to my messages yesterday, as if I made some mistake. Please tell me what's wrong. Looking away, Fangyan says, I want to forget some things from my past, but I can't. Yi responds, if you want to forget your past, you need to distract yourself in the present. Only then will you feel relaxed. Fangyan asks, but how do I distract myself? Yi says, meet me tomorrow and I'll send you the address. The next day, Fangyan goes to the address Yi shared. Yi greets her and says, I have a great idea to make you happy. Fangyan asks, what is it? Yi offers her Stinky tofu. Surprised, Fangyan says, I didn't know someone as famous as you likes Stinky tofu. Yi replies, celebrities are humans too. Whenever I'm sad, I come here to eat this. Fangyan helps Yi disguise himself with a mask to avoid being recognized. However, some girls spot him and scream, it's Yi! More people gather, forcing Yi to grab Fangyan's hand and run away. They escape to a cafe where Yi says, I'll play a romantic song for you. But this reminds Fangyan of Mung, making her sad. Meanwhile, Mung is watching cartoons and missing Fangyan when he sees news about Yi and Fangyan dating. This makes him upset and angry. The next day, Yi takes Fangyan to an event and introduces her to the media. Seeing this, Mung arrives at the event and says, come with me. He takes Fangyan away. An argument ensues between Mung and Yi, where Yi confesses, I like Fangyan and want to build a future with her. Meng tries to talk to Fangyan but struggles to express his feelings. Fangyan says, why don't you just tell me how you feel? This frustrates Fangyan, making her think that Mung doesn't like her. One day, Fangyan's duck goes missing, and Lin calls Mung to help find it. When Mung meets Fangyan, Lin calls to say, the duck has been found. Mung offers, I'll drop you home. On the way, Mung tries to say something important and says, look at that. He shows her the stars, and Fangyan says, I wish it would snow too. Suddenly, it starts snowing. Lin's doing. Meng holds Fangyan's hand and confesses, I've started to like you a lot. Fangyan looks at Mung seriously, and Lin remarks, finally, mission accomplished, leaving the two alone. In the next scene, Mung's employees are gathered outside his office because he is scolding an employee harshly. When the employee comes out, he tells the others, I don't know what's wrong with the boss today. He's yelling at everyone for the smallest mistakes. Hao Ying overhears this and asks, what's happening here? The employees explain, the boss is in a bad mood today. Hao Ying replies, bad mood? That's impossible. He sends the employees back to work and thinks to himself, Mung isn't angry, he's embarrassed. He's scolding everyone to hide his happiness? Hao Ying dances joyfully and goes to Meng, asking, how was last night's romantic snowfall? Meng looks at Hao Ying angrily and asks, where did you disappear to yesterday when I was confessing my love? Hao Ying says, I thought everything worked out, so I left. Did something go wrong? Meng stares angrily at Hao Ying. We see in a flashback, when Meng proposed to Fangyan, she said seriously, sorry, but I don't like you, and pulled her hand away before walking off. Meng's heart was broken. Hearing this, Hao Ying says, oh, so this is what happened, and I was celebrating for no reason. After scolding Hao Ying, Meng walks away. Outside, he sees some employees flirting and scolds them. Don't fall for love, it will only hurt more. Fangyan also feels troubled thinking about what happened yesterday. She gets a call from a director who invites her for a short promotion clip. Fangyan agrees. In the next scene, Meng calls a meeting and decides to make a new movie titled Love is Betrayal. Hearing this, all the employees are shocked. After the meeting, Meng bumps into Fangyan in the corridor. Fangyan, feeling nervous, says, good morning, and walks away. Meng thinks, am I just a stranger to her? Hao Ying arrives and asks, did you scare Fangyan again? Meng scolds him angrily and says, the meeting was dismissed, wasn't it? Why are you here? Elsewhere, Fangyan is at the orphanage with Yi. Yi brings gifts and spends time with the children. The principal tells Fangyan, this is the first time Yi has brought a girl here. It seems you're special to him. Yi shares secrets from his childhood with Fangyan, telling her, I'm adopted. My parents loved me, and Meng equally. Hearing this, Fangyan is impressed with Yi. Then Yi says, I want to play a recording for you, in which he confesses his feelings for Fangyan. But just as Fangyan starts listening, Hao Ying calls to inform her, Meng has had an accident. Hearing this, Fangyan and Yi rush to the hospital, where they meet Hao Ying. Seeing how scared both of them are, Hao Ying also gets nervous. Before he can say anything, the doctors take a patient into the operation room. Seeing this, Fangyan assumes that patient is Meng, and he is undergoing surgery. Yi too is very tense about his brother Meng, but Hao Ying doesn't reveal the truth. A doctor comes out of the operation room and says, the patient's condition is serious and we need to transfer him to another hospital. Yi goes to the counter to handle the paperwork. Hearing this, Fangyan feels completely shattered and thinks, something terrible has happened to Meng. When the patient is brought out, Fangyan starts crying and says, Meng, forgive me. I rejected you that night. I made a mistake. Fangyan cries even more and says, Meng, I should have realized my feelings for you earlier. I love you. At that moment, the real Meng arrives and holds Fangyan's hand. Fangyan is shocked to see him, but then Meng kisses her. Fangyan realizes, Meng likes me just as much as I like him. Fangyan angrily tells Hao Ying, I'll never trust you again. You told me Meng had an accident. Meng laughs and says, there was an accident. Look, I hurt my hand. Fangyan touches his hand and asks, does it hurt? Meng says, you're here, so it doesn't hurt anymore. Later, Meng and Fangyan go to their home. Fangyan brings soup for Meng and does some work, but Meng helps her too. At night, Meng tells Fangyan a story from his childhood about how he was kidnapped. Meng says, at that time, I escaped with a little girl, but I never saw her again. Fangyan gets emotional after hearing this and says, you don't need to worry anymore. I'll always be with you. The next morning, Meng makes breakfast for Fangyan, which is slightly burnt, but they both enjoy the moment. Then Fangyan takes Meng to see the winter festival, where they make dumplings and have fun. While making dumplings, they tease each other and share a romantic kiss. At night, Meng arranges a special surprise for Fangyan. He takes her on a boat decorated with star-like lights to impress her. Fangyan feels very happy, and they kiss again. Meanwhile, Yao sits alone, drinking because she's very upset about Hao Ying. She looks at a card that says, Yao, we'll get married after graduation. Seeing this, she smiles. This card was actually given to Yao by Hao Ying when they were dating. One day, Yao saw another girl in Hao Ying's house, which broke her heart, and she broke up with him. Since then, Yao hasn't liked Hao Ying at all. Elsewhere, the next morning, Mung drops Fang Yan at her house where she says, "Let's go out tonight." Mung asks, "But where?" Fang Yan replies, "I'll think about it and tell you," and then says goodbye before going home. Meanwhile, Yi goes to meet Dr. Kim, who asks, "How are you here so early?" Yi replies, "Because I've been abandoned, and now I need treatment." Dr. Kim asks, "By whom?" Fang Yan. Hearing this, Yi becomes even sadder. Dr. Kim says, "Don't worry. It's written in your fate to be with her because when Fang Yan was at the press conference, she regained consciousness because of your hug." Hearing this, Yi is shocked and asks, "When?" Dr. Kim explains, "It was during the press conference for Mung's movie Water Utopia." Hearing this, Yi rushes to get the CCTV footage of the press conference, where it's clear that Fang Yan came back to her senses because of Mung's hug. Seeing this, Yi's heart breaks because he realizes Fang Yan always feels secure with Mung, not with me. Elsewhere, Fang Yan meets Yao at her house. Yao asks her, "Where were you for the past 2 days?" Fang Yan tells Yao everything about her and Meng dating. Yao angrily says, "Are you crazy? Don't you know that because of your illness, you shouldn't be dating anyone right now?" Fang Yan says, "Mung is a very good person." Yao replies, "Fine, but if Mung truly loves you, he'll accept your illness too." Fang Yan then goes to meet Ming at a bar where her sleepwalking problem happens again. Meng and Yi handle her. Yi finally tells Ming about Fang Yan's illness, explaining she can only regain consciousness with me. Hearing this, Ming is shocked and also angry. After regaining consciousness, Fang Yan says, "Thank you, Yi." Then Mung drops Fang Yan home. At home, Fang Yan tries to tell Mung about her illness, but Mung quietly tells her, "Go inside and rest." Feeling helpless, Fang Yan goes inside. On the other hand, we see Yi, who is very upset because it was Yi who hypnotized Fang Yan using some technique, which caused her to start sleepwalking. Later, Yi secretly played the same technique to wake her up, leading to Fang Yan regaining consciousness. This means Yi did all of this deliberately to make Mung believe that only he could wake Fang Yan up. However, after doing all this, Yi feels terrible and, crying, says, "Sorry, Fang Yan." The next day, we see Fang Yan and Mung going to watch a movie together. While watching, Mung thinks to himself, Fang Yan should focus on curing her illness, but because of me, she's ignoring it, which is not good for her at all. After the movie ends, they head home. Fang Yan happily says, "Wasn't today's movie so good? The heroine did so much to get her love." To this, Mung asks, "Do you think it was a good thing that the heroine sacrificed so much for love?" Fang Yan replies, "Yes, because if I were in her place, I would even give my life for love." Hearing this, Mung pauses and says, "I met Dr. Kim today, who told me about your illness." Hearing this, Fang Yan gets scared and says, "I was about to tell you." Mung asks, "When?" and continues, "You want to stay with me, but for your treatment, you'll need Yi's hug and kiss." At this, Fang Yan holds Mung's hand and says, "I don't want any treatment because I just want to stay with you." But Mung pulls his hand away and says, "But now I don't want to stay with you," and then leaves, crying. After he leaves, Fang Yan also cries terribly, unable to believe that Mung has left her. Later, Mung goes to Yi and says, "I've left Fang Yan, so please take good care of her now." Yi is shocked to hear this, but Mung leaves. Meanwhile, Fang Yan cries the whole night after the breakup, and Mung drinks the whole night, crying as well. The next day, we see Yao telling Chen, "Don't eat anything until Fang Yan comes." Her mood is a little off, so the three of us will have breakfast together. Chen says her boyfriend left her. Hearing this, Yao scolds him and silences him, then goes outside Fang Yan's room to wake her up. Fang Yan comes out and, during breakfast, she says, "I have to go to the company for dubbing today." Meanwhile, Mung, who is thinking about Fang Yan, gets a visit in his office from Uncle Luo, who says, "Look who I've brought with me." Then a girl named Ling comes in, Uncle Luo's only daughter. Seeing her, Mung says, "Ling, you? Weren't you studying in Japan? How are you here?" Ling says, "Because I missed you there." Ling also meets Fang Yan, and from Meng's words, she realizes there's some connection between the two. Jealous, Ling joins forces with Fang Yan's senior to trap Fang Yan. Ling uses a tech device to play a horror clip for Fang Yan, which puts her into a sleep disorder. Everyone is shocked to see this happening. When Mung finds out about it, he rushes to Fang Yan and takes her to Yi, asking him to hug or kiss her to wake her up. Yi, feeling unsure about what to do, hesitates, but then kisses Fang Yan, which brings her back to consciousness. However, Fang Yan's senior secretly clicks a photo of Yi and Fang Yan almost kissing. This photo of Yi and Fang Yan nearly kissing goes viral everywhere. People begin bad-mouthing Fang Yan, accusing her of seducing Yi. Fang Yan's fans put up posters outside Yao's house against her. Seeing this, Yao tells Fang Yan not to come home, saying it's no longer safe for her. Fang Yan agrees. Yi then tells Fang Yan, "Come stay at my house because it's not safe for you at Yao's house anymore." At first, Fang Yan is shocked but later agrees, thinking it's safer for Yao and Chen if I doesn't stay with them. Yi becomes very happy and takes Fang Yan and her belongings to his house, saying, "There are lots of rooms here. You can choose whichever one you like." Fang Yan feels happy. When Mung learns that Fang Yan is now staying at Yi's house, he gets very angry. The next day, Yi prepares a delicious breakfast for Fang Yan, which makes her even happier. Yi tells her, "I have to go to the company for work. Don't let any strangers into the house." When Yi leaves the house, Mung hides outside in his car. Meanwhile, Fang Yan accidentally breaks a glass and screams. Hearing the noise, Mung rushes into the house. Fang Yan, surprised, asks, "How are you here?" Mung says, "I just came to talk to Yi." Mung asks Fang Yan to make coffee. When Fang Yan brings the coffee, the doorbell rings. Fang Yan opens the door to find a parcel addressed to her. As Fang Yan is about to open the parcel, Mung stops her. Inside is a severed hand. Mung realizes someone is trying to scare Fang Yan. He takes the parcel and tells Fang Yan, "Don't open the door for any strangers." Mung goes to his office to inspect the parcel and finds a note inside that says, "Leave Yi's house or I'll kill you." Mung asks his friend Hao Ying to investigate. Meanwhile, Yi's assistant tells him that many companies have withdrawn their projects due to the viral photo of him and Fang Yan. Yi says, "If the fans think Fang Yan is unfit for me, I'll change her personality and make her popular." Later, Hao Ying tells Mung, the investigation revealed Fang Yan's senior uploaded the photo to social media, but there's no information about the severed hand. While Fang Yan is at home, the doorbell rings again. Fang Yan asks, "Who is it? Yi, is that you?" There's no response. Nervously, she goes downstairs and finds Yi's assistant. The assistant says, "I need something from Yi's bag. Can you get it for me?" Fang Yan goes to get the bag, but the assistant smiles maliciously. At this moment, Mung learns that the handwriting on the note matches Yi's assistant's. He realizes she sent the severed hand to scare Fang Yan. He calls Yi to inform him that his assistant is after Fang Yan. When Fang Yan returns with the bag, the assistant knocks her unconscious. When Fang Yan regains consciousness, her hands are tied. The assistant says, "Because of you, Yi only looks at you and ignores me. He's losing so much because of you. I won't let you live." Just then, Mung enters through the window and twists the assistant's arm, making the knife fall. Mung pushes the assistant away, unties Fang Yan and asks, "Are you okay?" "Don't worry, the police are on their way." Just then, Yi's assistant begins sprinkling petrol all over the room and takes out a lighter. Seeing this, Mung tells her, "Calm down." But she refuses and says, "I cannot stay calm as long as this girl is with Yi." Hearing this, Mung says, "You must be mistaken. Fang Yan doesn't like Yi. She likes me, and I like Fang Yan." Hearing this, Fang Yan starts looking at Mung, but she doesn't believe him and says, "Both of you are lying." Just then, Yi arrives with the police and tells an officer, "My girlfriend's life is in danger, so please go inside quickly." The police break the gate, arrest the assistant, and take her away. When Yi sees Fang Yan with Mung, he becomes very sad. As the police take Yi's assistant away, Yi removes his muffler and covers her hands with it. Seeing this, Yi's assistant looks at him tearfully before leaving. Then Yi asks Fang Yan, "Are you okay?" Fang Yan replies, "Yes, and your assistant cares about you a lot, which is why she did all this. Please forgive her." Hearing this, Yi nods, and then starts talking to the police. Fang Yan tells Mung, "You cared for me, which is why you ran to me. So now don't deny that you like me." Hearing this, Mung starts laughing and then kisses Fang Yan. Yi is watching them from behind and feels very sad. Next, we see Yi entering Fang Yan's room, where he finds a letter from Fang Yan. It reads, "Superstar Yi, thank you for taking care of me, but now I don't want to trouble you anymore. That's why I am leaving." Reading this, Yi's heart breaks, and he remembers all his moments with Fang Yan. Just then, Yi hears the doorbell of his house. He runs to open the door, but instead of Fang Yan, Mung is there, who came to talk to Yi. Meng says, "You saw Fang Yan cannot stay even a minute without me, and you also want her happiness, so we can work together on her treatment." Yi replies, "I have one condition. I will stay with you so that I can handle Fang Yan if she sleepwalks, and you must stay away from her so I can try to win her over." Mung agrees to this. Next, Yi moving into Mung's house. Seeing this, Fangyan becomes very happy and thinks, it's good. Maybe the hatred between these two brothers will end. Then, at night, Fangyan decides to watch a horror movie with Yi and Mung. During the movie, when Fangyan gets scared, she goes straight to Mung. Seeing this, Yi becomes angry and glares at Mung, saying, I want to change seats. The next day, Fangyan talks to Yi about Mung's preferences. Yi realizes that Fangyan likes Mung, and he has no chance in her life. Later, while Yi and Fangyan are traveling together, their car nearly gets into an accident, but they survive. However, Fangyan falls back into her disorder. Yi takes her to Meng, who is clueless about what to do, so Yi explains everything to him. Mung becomes very happy, knowing only he can help Fangyan recover. Meanwhile, Ling goes to Yao's house to confront Fangyan, only to find out Fangyan doesn't live there. Just then, Hao Ying arrives, and the misunderstanding between Ling and Hao Ying is cleared. Hao Ying was drunk that day and vomited on Ling, ruining her clothes, so she took him to a room and helped him change in the washroom. Yao misunderstood the situation, but later realizes Hao Ying never cheated on her. Yao also reveals she adopted Chen. Chen overhears this and becomes upset. The next day, Chen leaves a letter for Yao and leaves. Yao calls everyone to inform them, and they all start searching for him. Yi enters Yao's house and finds Chen's letter. Yi then sits and says, Chen, come out because I know you're here. Chen was actually hiding under the bed. Yi tells him, one day I also tried to run away from home, but I felt I'd never see my parents again, so I came back and hid under the bed. Hearing this, Chen comes out and asks, are you also adopted? Yi smiles. Later, everyone returns home, and Chen apologizes to everyone. Yao and Hao Ying thank Yi. As Yi smiles and prepares to leave, Chen says, I need to talk to you alone. They go outside, and Chen asks, just like my real mom left me, will Mom Yao also leave me? Yi replies, Yao loves you very much, which is why she adopted you. Chen begins crying loudly. Ming and Fangyan bring Chen his favorite dish. Chen asks Yi, how did you find out you were adopted? Yi says, one day I saw my adoption certificate, but don't share this with anyone. Ming overhears this. Back at home, Ming looks at a childhood toy duck and says, so you left home that day because you found out you were adopted? After that day, all of Ming's anger toward Yi disappears. In the next scene, Yi shares his feelings with Fangyan and says, I knew you felt secure with Ming, but I kept this from you because I like you. Fangyan replies, I'm not upset with you because you told me the truth. You will always be my superstar. Mung takes Fangyan to the place where she was kidnapped as a child. Fangyan starts remembering some details. A flashback shows that Fangyan and Ming were kidnapped together as children. Fangyan says, I only remember being very scared of something. Dr. Kim says, if you remember the rest of what happened that day, you can overcome your sleepwalking disorder. In the next scene, Fangyan and Mung spend time at a shop. While Fangyan is counting couples, Mung clicks their picture and says, now it's 10. Fangyan happily kisses Mung. On their way back home, Fangyan remembers hearing a man's voice that day calling someone Charlie and saying, where is my son? She tells Mung about this. Mung is shocked and asks, are you sure the man called him Charlie? Fangyan confirms, yes. Then Mung tells Fangyan, I have some urgent work, so you should go back home. Fangyan leaves the place. After she leaves, Mung calls someone and asks, can we meet? The next day, Mung is getting ready for the board meeting where Fangyan asks, is this meeting very important? To this, Mung replies, yes, because it's the first board meeting since my dad passed away, where it will be decided who will become the chairman of Concept Pictures. Hearing this, Fangyan says, good luck. Mung tightly hugs Fangyan and leaves. Next, in the board meeting, Mung says, all the directors have arrived, so let's start the meeting. However, Uncle Luo says, wait, one more director is yet to arrive. Then Yi enters, shocking everyone, especially Hao Ying and Mung. Yi walks in and directly sits next to Uncle Luo, who announces, Mr. Yi is now the new director of our board meeting, so please welcome him. Hearing this, everyone starts clapping. Hao Ying says to Mung, Yi never took an interest in business before, so what happened suddenly? Mung glares angrily at Yi, understanding that Yi has come on behalf of Uncle Luo. In the meeting, Hao Ying says, as per company rules, the person with the most shares and director support will become chairman, which is Mung. But Yi says, I am against this because I want Uncle Luo to become chairman. Hao Ying replies, but because of Mung, the company has always profited greatly. Yi responds, and also incurred losses because Mr. Mung wasted a lot of the company's money on making his movie. Hearing this, Mung becomes angry. Then Yi suggests, let's proceed to voting. All the directors on Uncle Luo's side raise their hands, and gradually, even those on Mung's side begin to raise their hands. Hao Ying, disappointed, announces, Mr. Luo has received the majority of votes, so he is declared the chairman. Everyone starts clapping, but Mung is furious. Mung was very angry, while Mr. Luo was extremely happy. Then a flashback is shown. The previous night at dinner, Uncle Luo invited Yi and told him, if you join my team and support me in becoming chairman, I will make you the CEO of my company. Yi replied, I have no interest in becoming CEO. I only want to remove my brother Mung from the company because from childhood until now, I've lost all my happiness because of him. Hearing this, Uncle Luo smiled. On the other hand, everyone is waiting for Mung to arrive when Hao Ying enters. Fang Yan asks him, where is Mung? Hao Ying replies, in the meeting, all the company's financial issues were blamed on Mung, which is why he couldn't become chairman, and his title as producer was also taken away. Hearing this, everyone is shocked. Yi asks, where is Mung now? Hao Ying replies, I don't know because he isn't answering any of my calls. Fang Yan asks Yi, can you call Mung? But Hao Ying angrily says, don't even think about calling him because this all happened because of Yi. He supported Uncle Luo to blame Mung. Everyone is even more shocked to hear this. Fang Yan receives a message from Mung saying, I'm very upset and want to be alone. Don't worry about me. Seeing this, Fang Yan runs to search for Mung. She searches for him everywhere he used to go but cannot find him. Fang Yan becomes very worried and starts crying. Yi arrives and tries to console Fang Yan. She asks him, is it true that you got Ming removed from the company? Yi says, if I tell you there was a reason behind it, but Fang Yan interrupts, saying, there's no use in giving excuses now. I'm going to find Mung. Yi says, I have an idea to find Mung, but you'll have to act. Fang Yan pauses and looks at Yi in surprise. In the next scene, a news has gone viral about Yi and Fang Yan getting married. Hearing this, people are shocked and say, Fang Yan turned out to be very cunning. She managed to win over a superstar like Yi. When Mung hears this news, his heart breaks. A week later, the wedding day is shown. Everyone is happy, and the media is present. Yi looks very happy, giving interviews. Fang Yan, looking stunning in her wedding gown, keeps searching for Mung with her eyes. Mung is secretly watching Fang Yan from afar. The time for the wedding arrives, and everyone is called on stage. Yi holds Fang Yan's hand and takes her to the stage, where they are told, exchange rings. Hearing this, Fang Yan is surprised and Mung is also shocked. Yi is about to put the ring on Fang Yan's finger when she starts acting like she's sleepwalking. Seeing this, everyone is shocked. Fang Yan did this to make Mung come forward. When Fang Yan is about to fall off the stage, Mung catches her and saves her from falling. Seeing this, Fang Yan is very happy, and Mung smiles at her, understanding that she was acting. Mung then lifts Fang Yan and takes her away from there. Yi shouts from behind, what are you doing? Mung replies, enough of your act now, and takes Fang Yan with him. Yi becomes very angry seeing this. Fang Yan tells Mung, this was all a plan to bring you back. Mung apologizes to Fang Yan, saying, because of me, you had to face so many problems. Fang Yan hugs Mung and says, now that you're back, everything is fine. Meanwhile, Uncle Luo tells Yi, there are still some people in the company who want Mung to come back. Hearing this, Yi angrily says, those who want this should be removed from the company. I will never let Mung come back, and I will completely destroy him. Later, Mung meets Yi and asks, why did you decide to marry Fang Yan when it wasn't part of our plan? Yi explains, to convince Uncle Luo, as he didn't trust me and wasn't letting me check the financial documents. Hearing this, Mung remains silent. Then the story goes into a flashback 1 week earlier. When Ming had told Fang Yan to go home and had called someone, that call was made to Yi. There, Ming tells Yi, do you remember when I was kidnapped? A girl was also kidnapped with me? Yi says, yes, I remember. Ming says, that girl was Fang Yan. That's why she feels safe with me. Hearing this, Yi is very surprised and asks, does Fang Yan recognize the kidnapper? Ming replies, no. She doesn't remember much about that day, but she heard a man shouting, where is my son? Hearing this, Yi is shocked and says, that's Uncle Luo's name, isn't it? Because Dad used to call him by this name. Ming confirms this and says, yes, I think that man was our dad. In the present scene, Yi gives Ming a pen drive and says, 20 years ago, Uncle Luo embezzled a lot of company money. All the records are in this. I obtained this information with great difficulty. Ming says, this means Uncle Luo kidnapped me to threaten Dad and take all the evidence. Yi says, yes, and then Ming asks Yi to plan the next steps. Then Yi going to Uncle Luo and saying, now you can stop worrying about Ming because he won't interfere in company matters anymore. Uncle Luo asks, what have you done to him? Yi says, I didn't do anything. He's gone mad himself. Do you remember the childhood kidnapping story he used to tell? These days, he's trying to find the kidnapper. Hearing this, Uncle Luo becomes a bit nervous. Ming gives Fangyan soup and tells her, "Don't leave the house today until I return. I have something important to tell you." Fangyan agrees. On the other hand, Uncle Luo realizes that the girl he had kidnapped was Fangyan. Now he starts trying to gather more information about Fangyan. Meanwhile, Fangyan receives a bouquet. She happily brings it inside, and there's a card in it, which she's about to read when Yao snatches it from her and starts reading it herself. The card says, "Come quickly, Fangyan. I'm waiting for you by the lake because I have a big surprise for you." Hearing this, Fangyan thinks that Ming is going to propose to her today because he had mentioned in the morning that he wanted to talk about something very important. So, Fangyan quickly leaves to meet Ming. While Ming is in his car, he notices another car following him. Ming realizes that it must be Uncle Luo's car. Ming deliberately goes to the place where he was kidnapped. Uncle Luo secretly watches him. Ming picks up a diary that he had kept there himself. Uncle Luo thinks it might be the same diary he had been asking Ming's dad for. Uncle Luo hits Ming from behind with a stick and knocks him down. Ming says to him, "Uncle Luo, I knew you were behind everything. You were the one who kidnapped me in childhood, weren't you?" To this, Uncle Luo says, "If your dad had made a deal with me, I wouldn't have had to kidnap you. But unfortunately, he refused to side with me." In flashback, Ming's dad goes to Uncle Luo and says, "Where is my son?" Uncle Luo says, "First, give me my documents, or you'll see your son's dead face." A fight ensues between them, and Uncle Luo pushes Ming's dad, causing him to fall down the stairs and sustain fatal injuries. Back in the present, Ming asks, "What happened after that?" Uncle Luo starts laughing. Just as he is about to hit Ming again, Yi arrives and catches him. Yi says, "Everything you just said, I've recorded on my phone. The police are on their way." Uncle Luo says, "If you don't give me that recording, Fangyan won't survive." Hearing this, Ming and Yi panic and are forced to hand over the recording. But before Uncle Luo can escape, the police arrive and arrest him. Ming drives off to search for Fangyan. He remembers that there was a photo of him and Fangyan by the lake in his office, which Uncle Luo had seen. Ming heads to the lake first. At the lake, Fangyan finds a gift box. When she opens it, there's a scary mask inside. Shocked, Fangyan falls into the water, where she remembers the past incident of Uncle Luo pushing Ming's dad, leading to his death. Fangyan is deeply shocked by this memory. In the present, she regains consciousness, but she doesn't know how to swim. Ming quickly jumps into the water and saves her. Later, Ming becomes the chairman, and everyone celebrates. His movie Water Utopia becomes super hit. Fangyan takes Yao to her room, pretending that she lost the gift Ming gave her. Outside, Hao Ying practices proposing to Yao. When Yao comes out, she is surprised to see this and says yes to Hao Ying. Everyone is very happy. Later, Ming's mom tells Fangyan, Ming is just like his dad. He doesn't know how to propose properly. Just then, Ming approaches Fangyan with a wedding card and tries to explain something to her, but she doesn't understand and gets upset. Fangyan goes to her shop, and Ming messages her saying, "The weather is nice today, and it's Valentine's Day. Will you marry me?" Fangyan gets angry and says, "What kind of proposal is this?" Ming calls her to the terrace. Ming surprises Fangyan by proposing to her. He decorates a location with lights and "Marry Me" written on it. Seeing this, Fangyan becomes very happy. Ming says, "Meeting you after my childhood feels like destiny. It has made me believe in destiny now." Finally, they kiss, and the drama ends with a happy ending. How much rating would you give this drama? And which was your favorite scene? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos.